I mean, it's not a good day. I mean, this is a messy AF angle, let's not lie. But I feel that this is more comfortable for me. So we're going to carry on from here. So, right. So this one I edit it later, I'm like, oh god, there's like loads of really embarrassing stuff in the background. Right. So, first one, and I think it's more like universal ideas that sort of like give you a bit of a reminder about these things. So I feel like people just forget things sometimes and it's just easy to be reminded. So the fact is, obstacles in your life, people, friends, life events and stuff like that, they can never stop you from fully finding your purpose. Like, I feel like you will find your purpose anyway, and like things like this that are barriers in your head, you'll always get around it somehow. So for example, like, I don't know, if you have like mental health, for me it's like, even like when I had mental health problems, like I still found that even though, like, for example, I couldn't be as creative due to my like medications I was taking at the time, I still like managed to like be musical, like play guitar, I still went to school. And I'm not saying that going to school is like my favourite thing and my purpose in life, but looking back, it gave me skills to do what I'm doing now, if you like. So, you know, RS, which was one of the A levels I took, was, I did a lot of schooling, which I've spoken about in other videos, which I won't go into, but I feel like RS was like discussion based, which maybe gives me a bit of input for this. And like, I don't know, like art and stuff, so creativity, and I feel like everything leads to a point. I feel like I'm skipping loads because I have a bit of a list, but I feel like everything happens for a reason, which, yeah, is my next one. So I feel like not everything's going to fit to your plan and your time frame, because like God's plan isn't our plan. So being slightly flexible is good. And so yeah, as I was saying, like obviously having a love for music has added to this like channel that I'm doing. My love for shopping has made me like start my own online shop. So your essence doesn't change throughout your life, but the way you express it does, I feel like, as you move through life. So and I feel like someone I watched said your essence is like, and your emotion is one thing, but your emotion's like who you are, but your job is how you can express it, if you know what I mean. So that's also another thing to look at, like portions of life. But yeah, so it's interesting to say that though, to be honest, because I feel like when you're younger, you might express, because I feel like I'm I like to have a lot of fun, like with my friends and stuff, and I'm kind of somewhat, I wouldn't say private, I'm a bit private, but I'm also like, I'm not one of those people where I know everyone. Like, I have like a group of friends that I like to hang around with. I'm always open to meeting new people, but I mean, like, I'm not really so social with loads and loads of people. Like, I'm a Sagittarius, I don't know if you want to bring that into it, but like Sagittariuses are usually quite like friendship group oriented, or like smaller group of friends, not overly friendship, like try and socialise with everyone. But that's so, like, obviously as I was younger, maybe I'd show that in my life while I was at school, but now obviously being an adult and doing like other things, like obviously maybe I express myself in that way by, I don't know, that's kind of a silly thing to think about. I don't know, I guess it's kind of the same but just in a different setting. Maybe like back in school I'd express my creativity through like my music GCSE, whereas now I do it through like my own music stuff and also like the stuff I post. So yeah, and also I think that's, I won't talk about that. So yeah, I'm trying to keep this like a upbeat video, so I won't go really deep. Okay, so yeah, finding out your values, and this girl mentioned that you can type on Google a list of values and just choose and like look at them and see like what ones you're into, like, and they can be like family values, like your job, your friends, your hobbies, your time alone, your relaxed time, you know, your like luxury time, shopping and indulgence time. And yeah, it's interesting to figure out what you value and then trying to base your life around it, because like you don't I feel like you can adapt and change, but your core essence is the same. And yeah, like I feel like information about yourself is freedom, and like otherwise, like you're mentally trapped if you like, if I'm not saying how you're mentally trapped, you don't know about yourself, but it sets you free to learn things about yourself which aren't necessarily changeable. Not changeable, but like they're like the essence of you, in terms of like you, and like for example, I enjoy freedom, and like that's one of my like values. I enjoy like freedom to explore, and like friends and stuff. So like I'd obviously, you know, I'd say like I wouldn't want to work in an office at like a 9 to 5, because like I wouldn't like to like sit down, because I like to explore and stuff like that as like a value, and like aligning with yourself, because of like obviously then you can live your authentic self life. Your flaws are your greatest strength. So this is an interesting thing, and I'm not gonna like go over the top on it, but I do feel like people often, when they're, and I've done videos on this, when you go down a route in life, you think, oh, it's like a one-track train of like, I'm literally gonna get to the end of my train and like that's my destination, or like you think something's going to go a certain way and it goes the opposite way, or it goes a different way, or it goes a slightly deterred route and stuff like that. I think you always have an idea of what you're into, most people, from a young age, but I do feel like not everything happens on your time frame, and also it doesn't always happen the way you want it to or think it will. So don't dream, follow your aspirations, but also like be flexible, and also realize that not everything, you can't have everything you want. And so, oh sorry, I literally went completely deterred there, but yeah, your flaws are your greatest strength, because a lot of the time you like deter off your path because you run into things that are obstacles, and they might reveal something about yourself that you don't know, you know, like, and you know, you can get disheartened by it sometimes and just think, oh well, for example, I think I always had a bit of an insecurity about the fact, as I said before, I wasn't like that person that was like really social with everyone. Like, don't get me wrong, I wasn't mean to anyone particularly at all, but I feel like unless they were like mean to me, but I wasn't very assertive back then, so I don't think I would have been mean. I would have just like cried in the toilet or like ignored it or whatever. But I feel like I had like maybe an insecurity about maybe not being as social as other people. I feel like that was, and I know that's like such a first world problem, but I'm just saying that that was a flaw for me back then. But now I find, especially during the pandemic, I'm going to see that like being comfortable, not surrounded by people, and being a complete extrovert is actually really beneficial in some ways, because it means that I can like go into myself and explore things about myself, and you know, be more intimate with the friends I have and stuff like that. So it's kind of, it can swing both ways, like everything's got a pro and a con, you know what I mean? Things that make me happy, listening, figuring out what makes you happy. So for me it's like listening to music, going on walks, relationships and stuff like that. And often, she said in this video, I kind of got this idea from, is that it can be something really simple, like going on a walk. Like, going on a walk is so simple. I always go for walks now, and have ever since lockdown. And lockdown's taught me so much about like, you know, coping and stuff like this. I'm sure when I eventually have kids, this is going to benefit me massively for like that, and not going insane like looking after my kid. I think that's a whole other kettle of fish, but like hopefully like being, if I'm like alone at home, or my like husband's out of work, or my boyfriend's out of work, or a single mother, God forbid, that not saying that single mothers are bad, I'm putting my foot in my mouth, not at all, but I feel like I would appreciate the help. I'll mentor you single mothers if anyone's watching. Good job. Oh, anyway, foot and mouth disease, I do apologise. So, figuring out what makes you happy, because that can help you just direct towards a purpose, because, and by doing this, you can listen to basically finding what's effortless to you, and like things, like for me, problem solving, I'm quite good at problem solving. I'm good at like putting myself in another person's perspective, and there I have copied a couple of things that girl said, to be fair. I will these are my confessions, but I'm exactly the same, to be honest. Like, I feel like being level-headed, chit-chatting, problem solving, and a lot of my videos are like often like how-to videos, or like talking about a topic and like looking at them in like a broad way or whatever. Like some of them are like discussion based, and like sometimes like creative stuff I find quite effortless. Like when I'm like singing or whatever, like I kind of like just lose myself in it, and I like don't really think about what I was saying. Like obviously I do to an extent, like breathing wise on a basic level, which I had like some singing lessons, like not very many. I have sung for a while, but the fact is like usually I don't really consciously think about technique very much. I do a little bit just because of like the training or whatever. But yeah, like I'm not saying like singing is like my purpose in life. I mean, like looking at what is effortless to you, because it could be anything, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna like go into all the things it could be. Your intuition doesn't lie. I'm gonna like put this in context of you can get things wrong and you can assume wrong, but I think a gut intuition of what you're interested in that you've noticed in the past is true. But you can lose interest in things. I mean, I feel like intuition doesn't lie is basic rule, but it's not always true when you get things wrong, because you could misinterpret your intuition, you know, like not going to get too deep in psychology, but something you think is completely unrelated to something can have really close relation to something else, and you can be confused about something but you realize it's about this, and so yeah, things can be a bit jumbled up. The brain has a very good way of hiding things from yourself, and that's a great, you know, good job brain, you're protecting me, but at the same time trying to work through my rubbish like everyone does. Anyway, look at many videos on mental health. I am a complex woman. So yeah, look at what people, teachers and families and like people that you've associated with have seen in you, maybe commented on, or like thought that is like special or you're praised for. And it could be like music or like cooking or chatting or sense of fashion, or like, you know, being a leader or being technical or anything. It can be anything. That can help. Appreciate differences of yourself. Yeah. This is like pretty much the last one. Like, don't like, it's fine to do anything you want, but my advice for like the way to find purpose is to appreciate your own differences. Try and figure out what they are. Like obviously that's a life journey, but like appreciating your differences, not sort of like wishing you had something else. If you can learn new skills, don't be wrong, but like being appreciative of your differences and not sort of like trying to, I don't know, appreciating your differences is always good. So yeah, I'm going to go now, but yeah, just basically being aligned with yourself is always healthy and helpful. But yeah, we have a life journey. Trust in God. God has a plan for us all. So yeah, there we go. Thank you for listening, and I shall speak to you soon. Goodbye.